Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Ranger Rob Country Living. Yeah, this is our secret message to push a certain button. I pushed it.
Okay.
Guys, welcome to the Ranger Rob Country Living podcast. This is episode 96.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
I feel old.
I got to refresh a page here. But anyway, I had to refresh a page. But anyway, and today we're going to talk about self-reliance and kind of go with a little bit of the theme of what I've been doing videos about this week. Also about off-grid living and things like that, but not extreme, but we'll talk about that in a minute. But before we get started, get everybody introduced. I have a J&D Pig Homestead up above from Quicker River Ranch. And we got John Pearson from Apple Farm. And he's in Eugene. And I wanted to mention that he gave us a secret homemade grandma recipe for apple cake. And so delicious.
Did you have some, Debbie?
No, I didn't.
I have, though. We made a whole bunch. Anyway, so it was actually pretty good. It was more like a cobbler, kind of. Now, when your wife makes it for you, John Pearson, does she put the frosting on it, or does she skip that?
We usually do the frosting, but not a whole bunch. It's pretty sweet all as it is.
Yeah.
But the thing that we do is we keep it in the fridge.
Yeah, so do we.
That's just what we do. It's just really good cold. But
yeah. And that's our evening snack before bed. So we've been having a big fat slices every night since we made it, and it's pretty darn good.
You know, it's funny on that. We keep when we do one, we put the cake and there's 2 forks in it, and we'll take it out. And every time you walk through the kitchen, you got to kind of clean up that edge a little bit, you know.
That's for sure. Well, and before I forget, because I will forget, do we have any shout outs?
I have one.
I miss Rev.
Yes, Rev is out sick today, so he says. But those North Carolina people, you never know. But we miss Rev.
He's buried in the snow somewhere.
Yeah. So what's your shout out there, Mr. John?
Well, my shout out this week is to my wife and her sister, who have been taking care of my mother-in-law almost on the clock for the past couple of weeks. She hurt her leg, has a hard time getting around, and just needs assistance on some of the very simple things, but things that you do all the time, to where at this point somebody needs to be there almost all the time. And they've really stepped up, and it's not necessarily their cup of tea, but they sure have come through and they're helping out their mom. So that's my shout out, is to Mindy and Julie.
Sending prayers out.
Thanks. That's nice.
We need them.
All 3 of them could use them. So that's great.
Yeah, John was telling me a little bit about that last week, and it's like, we know about the caregiving, and of course, John and Debbie are doing it in a sense too. There are folks who are getting by on their own pretty good, but they definitely are side assistants with John and Debbie. So you never know when it might get a little more severe, but they're very fortunate. So
yeah, my brother, yeah.
All of us have a little bit of a caregiving going on.
Yeah.
And today, by the way, I wanted to talk. The reason I wanted to bring this subject up, which was self-reliance and off-grid stuff, is I don't know if any of you guys watch Homesteady, the channel.
I don't watch
Anyway,
it.
so
I
they're
haven't.
they're a family that does homesteading, and have a few kids. I think they have 3 kids, and they've been and I guess they're buying property, and they're really been kind of obsessed about going off grid. And to make the story more interesting, they actually went to Alaska and rented a cabin up in Alaska that's off grid. And so they're seeing if they think they could handle it and stuff, and see if they even like to be off grid. And their experience actually has not been that good.
Where they were
Um,
building on the
so
lake and walking
you know,
down.
they live in Pennsylvania, and they have the amenities, or used to having the amenities. So going day to day, using an outhouse, and now the well's not working. And the second place they're staying at, the watch, they're in a different cabin, but they still they have to go. They can. I think they have a small cistern on there, so they can't hold a lot of water. So they got to drive quite a ways to wow. Sorry, my security cameras is showing some very high winds. Anyway, anyway, so when you watch them, you get the idea that they're kind of like, I thought we were stronger than that. I thought we were going to be, hey Jack, good to see you. They thought they'd be kind of tougher, and they're finding themselves of going, I kind of miss the electricity, and I kind of miss the, just turn the tap, water on and all that stuff. So it got me to thinking, like, I know we talk about it a lot, and then we have things that we've been doing, and it's like, I think around here you don't find a lot of hardcore off-grid people. I do know that there's a couple, I believe, up, quite a few up in the Three Rivers area above Lake Billy Chinook. I know there's a lot of off-grid places there. But anyway, so my videos have been going, been kind of talking about going off grid, but not completely. And 2 is, what are you doing that's making you reliant or self-sufficient? And I was kind of turning into, like, has anybody, Storms Radio and Cats, nice to have you. Storms, Radios, and Cats. Oh. Yeah, he does hard to
That's
break away from the
interesting.
conveniences. So anyway, so I got to thinking, I go, okay, when we bought this place, we have done a lot of things to be able to survive off grid, but not for prolonged time, maybe a week or 2, and be fine until it really started getting inconvenient. So I'm curious, like, has anybody maybe started thinking about 2024 as your New Year's resolution of taking steps to be a little bit more aware of things that could go wrong, where the power could go off for a while, or we had a cyber attack and stuff, and instead of thinking this totally the worst things that could happen, where it go for years and stuff, but when it comes to a temporary situation, is how well are you doing? And if you feel like you wouldn't do very good, are you doing anything in 2024 to improve your situation for being self-reliant, or be able to handle being off grid, even if it's only temporary? And I'm going to start it off by saying I have 2 goals this year. And I did talk about that in today's video, but you won't see that till Friday. And one is, we want to purchase a portable generator, electric. So the kind with the lithium battery, and also can be expanded with more lithium batteries, and also with the solar array with it. Anyway, so now I have generators and all that kind of stuff. And I'm hearing things today. Anyway, So I do have generators and stuff, and I do have some systems set up to last a couple of days. But when it gets up to maybe a week or so, I'm going to be kind of sweating it out. Like, do I have enough fuel? Fuel and stuff like that, and can I still heat this place? So I will be getting to the panel here and getting everybody's opinion here in a minute. So that was one of our goals, is this year purchasing our portable generator. And the second thing is, I've been talking about doing similar to what John and Debbie did, putting a trench out to my back 5 acres and, piping water out to there. But I have so many, where my water originates, I have so many wires, our main power line, and we have a 16 channel system in here. And of a water system already, that it's just going to be a nightmare when we dig a trench. So I'm kind of thinking maybe this year, my second goal would be putting in a large water container, like 250 to 500 gallon tank, and putting it in the back. And I can, fill that anytime I want, because I have our own well. So it's not like I have to worry about a water bill. And eventually fill that up. So I have backup water out there, and I'd have backup water in the winter, as long as I plumb it right where I don't have to worry about freezing. So anyway, so those are 2 goals for this year, but there could be so many other people where it's just like, okay, I need maybe some other alternatives, like how am I going to heat water? How could I cook? How can I heat the house and things like that? So that's the things I want to ask you guys about. Storms Radio. I'm missing all your messages here. Let's see. I think he was talking about, that's Jack. Jack has a, how do you pronounce that? Energy backup battery system. That's kind of what I'm looking for. And uninterrupted power. Yes. Which audio switch over should the grid go down? So does it do it automatically, or is it a separate system? That's what I'm kind of curious about.
It's kind of like a Gen X.
Oh, okay.
Or Jetty.
No,
And let's see. Storm says, I have a lot of goals. Here, let me get up on the screen. A lot of goals. Yep, he's like me, that need to be met, and I am setting my sights of becoming closer to being self-reliant. It's a challenging. It's a challenge being on SSI. Yeah, I know. I'm thinking, when we have to rely totally on that, I'm just like, times are going to get tough around here, but challenge accepted. Good for you. And Jack, yep. Okay. So anyway, so I like Storm's radios and Cats, he's kind of in the same wavelength as me and Sherry, where we have goals and stuff. And so the other thing I think I'll bring up before I hand it over to you guys is, we're not looking to get off grid. We're putting in systems to be comfortable if we lose any of those resources, like electricity or water, and trying to be comfortable that way. And also, and it pertains to food too, guys. Are you storing food away? Are you doing dehydration? Are you buying the kits? Any of that kind of stuff. So, and I'll start off with John and Debbie. So I know you've done a few things this year to make things easier, but I don't know if it's so much easier to help out with, a lack of resources or losing some resources for a while. But have you done anything this year, or do you have goals this year at all to improve in the self-reliance or off-grid situation?
Well, we started out buying that heater. Tell them about the heater.
Oh, we have a brand new diesel heater, and it's pretty much portable. I can take it and put it anywhere on the property to heat up. Well, we did it last week when we processed our birds. We put it inside of the processing building, heated it up, no problem. And it's really small. It's meant for a vehicle.
Yeah.
But it takes diesel, and you got to be able to pipe it out of the building. But other than that, it works great. It's a
Can you use it? Can you use it at all for your house?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. All I gotta do is vent it outside.
And how much fuel does it use?
It uses, so far I haven't had to refill the tank, and I've used it twice now.
Yeah. And
For
the last
about
time was 5 hours.
5 hours, and it still has,
And it's still almost full.
yeah.
Takes
Wow.
very little gas. And the other thing is we have solar already,
Mhm.
and we've been going back and forth about getting. We should have done it when we got the system. Is the power packs for it?
The power wall.
Yeah, or whatever you call
But
it.
I'm kind of looking at the Yeti portable system
Mhm.
where you could basically do what you wanted to do, is build up power.
Yep.
Or stack them. And not only could we use that for emergencies, but we can also use it when we go camping. If we go dry camping,
Yep.
we've got our own power supply and stuff like that. Plus I have 2 generators. So we have backup.
Yeah. How about food?
This is the canning queen.
For 2 people, I have enough for probably the rest of our life. I'm terrible.
Where do you store it all?
In the spare room.
If I
It's
go
the only
back
place that
there,
won't freeze.
if I go back there and start seeing little teddy bears in these jars, I'm just gonna go crazy. She cans everything.
Damn, that's an idea.
Yeah. Yeah, just go to your nearest marijuana medical place. You get all the gummies you want.
Oh, there we go.
Not in my house.
Not here.
So do you have any plans this year to make any improvements?
The power supply would be one, and I don't know. We haven't really got that far. After all, it's only a couple weeks into the year.
Well, you should have all your resolutions ready.
Well, the
Yeah.
big thing is we worked so much last year on getting the water supply in, getting the electric in.
The new paddocks, the new chicken coops that
We're kind of, maybe we want to sit back and see how all this goes. Plus, I've got to move her whole garden to another location. So
And do you have any
I'm
more?
starting to
don't you have
think
some
I'm
more
just not
coops
a
to build?
gardener.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to start either dig out some of my old hydroponics and start them up again or something. But there's a couple of things I didn't do last year, and I kind of through the summer I'm kind of going, that looks so bad. So
Well, I'm going to try this gardening thing one more time. But I think it was because maybe underneath that tree that it was too much acid. So I'm going to try it one more time. After that, I'm coming to your house and picking.
And the one thing I really liked the most you guys hate was the strawberries.
Yeah, not too keen on strawberries.
Yeah.
Raspberries now. Talking.
I cannot do raspberries. I cannot get them started for the life of me. But
see how many Christmas.
I haven't
It's
given
funny
up.
because
I could
mine
do 'em
last
both,
year,
but-
mine last year were beautiful, and then one day they were just gone. I don't know what happened to them. That's why I think it might be that tree.
And it's the chickens.
Yeah.
So big news. Big news. John Pearson, you are now a pig owner.
Oh man. Yeah. A long time waiting. Yeah. They're doing great too. They're doing great.
Yeah. So put the story together a little bit. John had to wait for his pigs. He didn't have to, but it was very kind of him. Because we first of all had a piglet so late, and I only had a few piglets, but I put him on high priority. So no matter what, and then the castration little problem is I'm going, oh crap. And when we got by all that, and he got his pigs finally, and they're adorable. There's one that looks like a raccoon.
See,
Anyway,
I think
but-
panda.
You call him Panda?
No, but I think it looks like
I
a
think
panda.
he looks like
Yeah,
a panda too.
Yeah.
And, have you guys named him yet?
Yeah. So one of them is the one that looks kind of like a panda, named in Wilbur, and the other one is Rocky. So it's Rocky and Wilbur.
Wow. Any motivation then behind the names, or just
No, not really. The one pig looks like he just got in a fight. But no, we were going back and forth. Mindy likes Wilbur. We were going back and forth. I was thinking of naming it Fu. You know, in that show Kung Fu Panda, that cartoon, the panda's name is, I think, Po. And I started saying, "Oh, his name's Po," and I like Pooh. Anyway, Mindy likes Wilbur. So guess what? Mindy's it's
cool. So now they're like 10 weeks old, and they only, I think that's right. And you sent us pictures, and they're adorable, and they look bigger. I mean, it looks like they've grown already since you got them.
Hey, I don't know if I would have been able to back leg wrestle them if I would have waited another week.
I know.
They grow so fast.
Really
It's so funny. So we had a medium-sized kennel, right? And so we're using that to catch them and carry them over to the bigger kennel at the truck. And the first one was so big that he couldn't even stand from end to end without tilting his head. And it looked very uncomfortable. And we thought, oh Lord. And then John brought the cage that he used last year, which was appropriate for last year, but it was like a week or two later. I'm going, John, I don't think both pigs are going to fit in there. And luckily I had an extra kennel in the back, and which we're more than happy to let them have. And so we switched over to that for the two pigs, and it was needed because it was amazing. They were chunky. The first one for sure was a very big pig, and the other one was more the average. It was like a shocker. And the other thing I got to tell you is we sold my third pig, and also Debbie and John had a pig that added to it. They wanted a pair of feeders. And what was really funny is all of us, we got to handle pigs, catch pigs, run through the paddocks and catch them, all that. And then finally we start getting pictures from the people from Washington about those pigs. And the first pictures they send us, they've got the pigs.
They're holding them.
They're holding them like kittens in their hands. It's like, that's the first quote I got out of Debbie was, "How in the hell did they do that?"
They're just holding them like a baby.
I know.
And we couldn't even get close to them. We had to wrestle them down
because they can.
Mine's still like that. Mine are still
piglets are strong, and they got hoofs, guys, and they're kicking and screaming. It's like trying to hold a whale with feet. And so that was quite. That's the first comment, and that's the first thing I looked at. I was like, they're holding these pigs like they're kittens. It's like, how did they do that? So I don't know.
They must have drugged them up when they got down the road.
Yeah. And John
we also sold one of our boars too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a busy day with a busy week with the piglets last week.
Yeah, pigs and chickens last week. It's like,
pretty. Other than my three, we were starting to get some weather issues in our area, and so John Pearson was very smart, and he says, "I'm going to come over a day early," and which was a Friday, and that was a smart idea because he's driving from Eugene, so his drive was pretty good. But the other gal, she came over the next day in the morning, and she said Mount Hood was a bear, and
the week before we went over, and government camp did not have one drop of snow, none. Wow. We had more snow here than it didn't have any.
Huh.
Crazy.
Yeah. So I was very glad that everybody were able to get their pigs, but there was definitely challenging weather. And for those of you who aren't in the Central Oregon area, if you guys look at the Northwest predictions of the weather, we are going in starting right now 3 to 4 days of nightmare temperatures, precipitation, wind, everything you can think of is coming our way, and we're going to be at zero and below zero a couple of days at night, and so it's going to be a very challenging couple of days, of course. And of course, we have to fight with the water freezing and stuff like that, but and cold piggies and stuff like that. But we got good shelters, and pigs are really hardy. So anyway, I'm sure we're going to have some interesting stories next week when we talk about our pigs, but it's worrisome. My pigs are definitely hunkered down. So,
well, if it gets too cold out there, I'll hook up that heater and see how it works in the barn.
yep. Or you can just bring them all in the house.
No,
You're funny.
no.
Chickens
Yeah, just
only.
let your big old boar Art can just walk around the house.
Hey, Rob. So Storm is from Kentucky. We're looking to buy property there.
Yeah.
Really?
You need to connect
Yeah.
with him. Get some.
Keep this place and buy something over there.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. So Storms, make sure you get a chance to connect with or I'm Wise or whatever with Debbie and John. They'd like to hear from you.
Oh, Jack's going to be here March.
Huh?
Oh, yeah, he's coming up again. Oh, he just wants to get another Ranger Rob pina colada.
Ooh, I want
Love
to
to meet you, Jack.
He ran out of poopy bags.
That's right. We'll load him up with poopy bags and a pina colada. And no wonder he hasn't ordered any pork from us. He's like, yeah, you can pick it up. So, yeah, keep us informed when you get up here. But we had Jack up here maybe 2 years ago, something like that. So he'll probably be disgusted with me because some of my sisters. Was it last year?
That's when we did all the chickens the first time.
Nope, that was John.
That was
That was John.
Yeah, it's like, you don't confuse me.
That's the first
It doesn't take much.
Yes, I know. So Kentucky is amazing. He says it's an amazing state to live in. I have lived here for 31 years, originally from northern Idaho.
Nice meeting
Ohio.
you.
Ohio.
What part of Kentucky? We're looking at what? Living
Lexington. Or Louisville.
Louisville. Yeah, that's it.
Well, Elijah's here too.
Oh,
Hi, Elijah.
Elijah.
Elijah has the most prettiest birds.
Yeah, he reminds me of what we used to do many years ago when we had a game bird farm. We have a lot of similar birds that he has now. So I'm definitely jealous when I see him post all of his beautiful birds.
Oh, that and his flowers.
Yeah. So getting back to John Pearson, have you done anything last year, and are you going into 2024 with any new intentions of being more self-reliant or a little bit off-grid, or just going with the flow, or what?
No, last year we thought about it a little bit, and did a few things. So our freezers are a lot fuller this year than last. We got another half of beef. I've got a freezer and a half of pork. I still have a bunch of frozen meat birds and all that kind of stuff. So as far as prepping for food and everything, it got us thinking, hey, these the power goes out and all this kind of stuff. So we've always had a generator, and it's portable, and it's large enough to take care of the essentials in the house and all of our freezers. I have 3 electrical services on my property, and one of them takes care of what I call the RV park, which is
Was that a hit, John?
but it also controls our well. So I picked up another generator so that I could make sure that we had the water for the whole property, because that particular well
around there.
is a good well. I have 2 wells on the property. One of them is great for irrigation, but not that you don't want to drink it. Yeah, I don't even think you want to bathe in it. But the other is fantastic. And so I have 2 generators, and that way one will take care of the mother-in-law, my sister-in-law, and the well. The other one will take care of our house and our freezers. And so, yeah, we have that. My fuel storage and I made sure that both generators will run on gas and propane, the dual fuel kind of thing. So I've been stockpiling up I've got propane, I've got clear fuel, all that kind of stuff, but you can only store so much. Also we have a propane tank here at the house. I had the tank upsized it's a 300 gallon, which the old one was a 100 gallon. So we've got a 300 gallon propane tank. We're propane on our stove and propane on our water heater and propane on our furnace. So we're able to have, hot water, be able to cook and all that. And we're able to even take the generator and tap into our large tank if we have to, but I do have a bunch of storage tanks. And then, but as far as this year, what we're looking to do, I've got projects that I've got to do around the house. I got to get my pantry done. That's something that's going to happen. But as far as prepping, the only thing I'm really going to do, we had to have our well pump replaced this last year. And when my buddy Stu from Chuck's Plumbing came out and did that, I made sure they plumbed it so that I could also add a manual pump, a manual hand pump,
I like that.
Yeah.
So, and my well is set up that it would work just fine on that. So it's plumbed for that. They're really inexpensive, and that's probably the next kind of preppy thing I'm going to do as far as the year goes. I've got tons of projects here in the house. We've got the added thing with, making sure that my mother-in-law is comfortable and all that kind of stuff. But the hand pump is probably the only thing that I'm going to add to the thing this particular year. Because I tell you what, you can have all the generators that you want. And you can have TV and you can have lights and refrigerator. But man, I tell you what, if you can't flush that damn toilet, that's a horrible thing.
Yeah.
Anyway,
buying seeds from.
Like, where are you buying your seeds? The source is Baker Creek. That's one of the ones I buy from.
Me too.
R&H, I don't buy. Johnny's, I do. If they're still in business, I think they are. I haven't heard anything.
no, Johnny's.
Johnny Seeds. Have you heard of anything negative with them?
No, they're good. There's a couple other. I was trying to think. The one that
The Harlan Ranch, isn't that one of them?
Totally Tomatoes. I also order from because I grow Jet Stars, and that's the only place I can get Jet Stars.
I forget the name. It's Harlan. No, that's the name of the seed.
And I got to thinking, it's like, oh, I guess we're going to have to start thinking about seeds
Burpees?
again, huh?
Burpees.
Burpees is one of them.
It started with the B. I knew there was one that between the Baker Creek and Burpees and that Johnny's. Those are actually the 3 places that I got all my seeds, plus the local hardware store for.
Yeah.
I got some of my seeds from John Pearson, and then I failed.
Eden Brothers is another one I've bought from.
I got a couple others too, and I can't remember the name.
It's getting there. This year I'm going to pull all my weed fabric, and I'm going to pull my fencing that I have all around my garden. I'm going to bring the tractor in there with the plow. I'm going to plow it all up, and I'm going to put the fabric together in a little different configuration, just so that it kind of is mixed up a little bit.
Yeah, I got to do something similar to that for our corn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
like I said, I'm moving my whole garden. The whole
Yeah,
damn
so
thing.
I was like, we're all regrouping on our some of my gardens. The above ground piece of cake.
Well, what's
But,
sad is even in the greenhouse, they didn't do good.
Yeah, even
Really?
my hydroponics were mediocre. I mean, we did get a lot of tomatoes, but not like the first time.
It was a weird year.
Yeah, well, they started out just doing fantastic. Everything was growing.
Yep.
And then about a month later, everything was dying.
The only thing that survived was the lemon cucumbers.
And her tomatoes would have survived if it wasn't for those little hornworms.
They took out 10
Little.
plants in one night.
We did really good on our tomatoes and everything. What I did was I couldn't resist, and I started my seeds too soon. The temperature outside wasn't good, and I had them in here too damn long. And it's like I go from one container to the next size larger to the next size larger, and it's like, oh my God, it was just terrible. We ended up doing really good on tomatoes. We did really good on peppers and all that kind of stuff. The zucchini, we did good on everything. My corn, not that great. But
I got 3 corn. They're about this big, but damn it, I grew them.
there you go. But
They
It's like
told me I
every time-
couldn't do it, and I only had 3 plants.
It's like every time you
But
go
they
to
found
John
out
and
it was
Debbie's,
sick.
it's like, you want a cucumber? It's like, you gave us one last time. It's like every time you went over there, you want a cucumber? Like, okay, we'll take a cucumber.
I'm gonna hold off a little bit before I start my seeds. I'm gonna go about a month later. It would have been a lot better. I had tomato plants that were getting way too tall. I'd have to string them up. They wanted to fall, and it was just too cold last year. And I just jumped the gun about a month.
Well, Rob, he had a whole wall of tomato plants come down.
Yeah.
That sucked. Oh my gosh. You know how heavy that was? And trying to get those back up again, we just demolished the plants. So we lost a lot of tomatoes just from that one cable breaking. So,
I have some breaking news, Rob.
oh,
It's supposed to snow in 10 minutes.
you said that a half hour ago.
I know. They've been doing this since 4 o'clock.
And my cameras are nothing.
Yeah, I got
I
nothing
know.
on ours.
They've been saying it since a little before 4 o'clock. It's supposed to start snowing.
See, it's gonna snow pretty soon, and it's less than a year till Christmas.
All
Yeah. So now you got a late start. It's like, when are you, John Pearson I was talking to, as when are you planning on processing your pigs now?
You know what? I haven't even added the months, so I figured
June.
we're at 2 months. We're at 2 months last week. It's going to be 7 months. I like to do it between 8 and 9 months, and I think I'm going to do 9 months. At 9 months, so whatever that adds up, and I haven't even factored it yet. What would that be? 7 July?
Yeah,
Somewhere.
all right.
I've got
I know we're going to do our feeders probably in May, but I'm not trying to get them too big, because I'm trying to go for meatier bacon, and I want to get them butchered a little bit younger than I've done in the past. So anyway, and I'm processing in a different place, and I want to get different flavored bacon. So, but that's all for Central Oregon grown. And you guys probably saw a note from Jack. I'm not putting that up on the screen for other people, but for contact information, we're all reading. Oh, John, you can't read it, can you?
read it. I'm on my phone. That's okay.
Uh-oh. My screen.
Yeah.
So it sounds like every summer we get somebody that's regularly watching our shows. This summer it was John Smith, which was a kick in the butt. And it's so funny. He's like,
Yeah.
when we get up there, I want to live. We're gonna spend the time under the homesteading, bubble, and we just put him in it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, sure did.
I mean, and
He
not
learned
only
how
that,
to process his chickens.
not only that, him and his wife were helping dive into the chicken tractors to catch the chickens to get them over to your place before we processed. And so they're probably going, these guys are sick.
That and you got to go through the barn and
Yeah.
check out the
So
piggies. And
we didn't have a long time with them. I feel like for the short time we
Yeah.
had their family here, we really got a chance to give them a taste of the homestead life. So
Yeah, it's the first time we processed chickens and they came.
and what he was more shocked about is how many people were actually showing up to our house to process chickens.
yeah, it was quite
Yeah,
the
we had a
party.
lot of people. It was so much fun, though.
So going back on our subject, just want to stay up with it, but this year should be just a really fun, wonderful year with the elections and everything. So I don't know about you guys, but it makes you think a little bit more about what kind of wild things are going on. And there's so much more hacking going on and things like that, and cyber. It's like. Is it just me that's getting in the mood of like, oh, maybe I should make sure if you have any loose ends that pertain to self-reliance or off-grid stuff. And when I say off-grid, is losing what you have to put you on off-grid.
Yeah.
It's like, can you heat up water? Can you heat your house? Can you feed your animals? Do you have
Yes.
backup food? Can you boil water? All these things. And a little bit or a lot or whatever, but I'm trying to just get at least the people watch our shows and stuff to think about it. So if it causes them to buy an extra case of green beans at Costco, great. That's whatever it takes. So anyway, I just think this might be the year of being inconvenienced a little more than we were used to. So I don't know if you guys agree or not.
It has
One
that.
thing that I look at is if worse comes to worse and we can't stay in the house because it's too darn cold, backup is to go out to the RV. We're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to John's house so we can sit on his porch and just drink, his fermented apple cider. Yeah.
Oh, speaking of coffee, my wife went over to Rob's the other day and she had to make her own coffee.
What?
Yeah.
Glory away. I was going to nail him.
I know. And
took my glory all the way away.
It's like I took all I could do to train her to push the right buttons.
I had to make my own damn second cup.
Yeah. Anyway, so I think we got you trained. So I think
the story is Rob forgot to put the cup under there when he started it.
Yeah. So I was making her coffee, and it's like I go to look, I'm going, you know what? That's not going into anything. I forget to put a cup under the Keurig. It's like, so I served her a half a cup of coffee, going, whoops. I am grateful. So these two did come over last week and help us with the Washington people to catch our pig and loading. I think the hardest part on both, not only John Pearson's and the Washington lady, Mary, I think all of us spent more time cinching down transportation than we did catching the pigs, because both of you guys were going over passes. And the wind was a factor. So we made sure everybody had those pigs wrapped in blankets and stuff like that. So catch up with the notes here.
I'm just glad that they all got there safe and sound.
Yeah. I mean, everybody seemed to do it right. Probably took you forever to unload those pigs, John.
I had a buddy of mine, the guy who I borrowed the truck from, because my old farm truck, I didn't want to take it. But a buddy of mine lent me his truck, and he came over and because he wanted his truck back without pigs in the back. So he came over and helped me unload it. But I tell you what, those pigs, they were a little mellow the next day. I think they, I know they were warm and I know they didn't get cold because those blankets didn't move a bit. But I do know that they were a little slow to get up and go that next day for sure. And they didn't have any clue what they were walking on, this green.
Yeah.
I'm going to
This.
So John's got nice green pastures. We have high desert dirt. And so I'm sure the pigs were a little shocked when they got all that soft green stuff that they were walking on. They look so confused, like, what the hell is this?
I'm going to Jack's. He has 80 pounds of coffee. I'll get a whole cup there.
Yeah, if you're lucky. You'll have to teach her how to make her own coffee. 80 pounds of French roast. Ooh. What's going on here? 48 degrees and clear skies there?
I'm going to Jack's.
Yeah. Even though it is California.
I'm not going to Jack's.
Just hopefully you don't need gas.
Love you, man, but I ain't going to California.
So you guys don't have any more big plans for 2024 when it comes to self-reliance and stuff?
I'm going to do more birds, more meat birds.
San
This
Francisco.
trying to figure out when I'm going to do them. I'm just going to do one batch. I'm working on, we're getting a chicken plucker, that Mindy and I decided that was one of the things we were going to get this year, but
it's definitely a
game changer.
A game changer when it comes to birds.
Yeah.
Although, we just did those Cornish cross.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the deal was, but it didn't pluck them very good.
Really?
Yeah, like the Red Rangers we had no problems, but the feathers didn't come out.
To get the feathers out.
And you scalded them the same as the others and all that.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
And everything like when you.
And the temperature got a little hot, so we cooled it down because when it's too hot, it splits the skin.
All the skin.
Yeah, so we got it back down, and when we did that, it was even harder for the feathers to come out. For some reason, we just I don't know if it had a factor that it was cold outside or what.
It was like snowing.
Yeah,
while we were doing the birds.
It was snowing.
So I'm outside doing a plucking and everything. She's inside.
His part.
By the way, I'm starting to doubt wearing muck boots right now because you get out here working in the snow. My feet are freezing in these muck boots.
I were too this morning.
And it's like, I think I'm going out with hiking boots tomorrow.
Day before, I even had like 3 pairs of socks on, and my feet were still cold.
I know. It's like, geez.
Are they actual muck boots?
My hiking boots.
The rain boots. They're like rain boots.
My muck boots keep my feet. And mine are muck. They're the Chore brand of the muck boots. Man, of course, I don't get the temperatures you guys get, but I tell you what, I wear those. Those are so comfortable and so keep me so warm. They're amazing, but we don't get quite the cold that you get.
Because it's cold over there, but it's damn cold here.
His is the wet cold. Ours is the dry cold. Couldn't help myself.
I just remember I go outside.
Oh, God.
I should be okay. It's a dry cold.
Until I slip and fall in the wet puddle. And so wet cold. Excuse me.
Well, the show must be almost over because John Pearson just finished his drink.
No, that's the second one. Sorry.
You got 11.
Jack, you don't need wool socks. You live in California.
What area of California does Jack live? Do we know?
San Francisco.
San Francisco
Oh, wow.
area.
Hey, the coolest winter I ever spent
The
was in
Raiders.
San Francisco.
The Raiders.
That wind
Raider
blows off.
territory.
That wind blows off the water, and it gets the whole Bay Area.
Yeah, it does. It does. I lived down there in the Central Valley and worked in the Bay Area all the time. So for years and years and years.
Yeah, I was in San Jose.
I worked a lot in San Jose. What area is San Jose?
Blossom Hill,
Oh, okay. See,
that area.
my father-in-law and my electrical contracting business, we did a lot of McDonald's restaurants. So we did on McDonald's on Almaden and McKee Road and all these different areas off the highway. And we spent years in San Jose. Loved it.
Yeah, I spent 3 years in Vallejo
Oh, okay.
just before they built the Marine Park there. It used to be a Navy base,
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
and that's where I was in the military. So
I'll be
And
damned.
by the way, when Jack comes up here with his truck, it's a cute truck and all that, but it's way too clean. And it's like, it was like, oh, nice truck, but it's the wrong kind of truck up here. Because up here, all of us have filthy trucks.
from
Except-
hauling hay
and from
grabbing
hauling
So
hay.
you go to town, it's dirty. You come back, and halfway through town, it's super clean. Halfway time you get home, it's dirt again.
Yeah. So the first thing I'm going to do when Jack shows up, I'm just going to throw dust all over it. Like, now you can call that a Central Oregon truck. That's one thing we didn't mention.
You
I
don't
know
have to
John-
do that. Just go down your road.
Yeah.
have them
Yeah.
follow you to town.
I'll never forget John and Debbie and ourselves when we went to pick up the pigs over in Burns, Oregon. And it was right in the middle of the summer.
No,
And I have
God.
never seen such awful dust in the world. And the roads, they're not paved going to all the
That was
properties
like
back
2
there.
miles down the dirtiest road.
Yeah. I feel like I'm still getting some of that dust out of my truck. I'm trying to read these messages.
Well, I tell you what, I think our piggies are happy though.
Jack, you're kind of telling us your age.
I still got Elijah upset about the muck boots. I must have some cheap muck boots, which they probably are, because it's like I bought like the cheapest pair you could get from Wilco, and I think I'm gonna have to get some fancy pair.
If they're real muck boots, man, I tell you what, those are the pair of muck boots that I have are 12 years old, and they have a little hole in the heel, so when I walk, air goes out of them, and they. So when I walk through the
Are you sure? Are you sure those are the
Make a lot
boots?
of money with that, John.
house, when I'm walking through the house, she'll be sleeping and everything, and she'll go, "Get those boots out of the house," because she can hear me.
That's when you tell her it's really not my boots.
But my muck boots, they're the absolute best. I've had them for 12 years, and they still going strong, except they whistle.
I gotta laugh. As Sherry's been trying to get me to replace my tennis shoes. I have got this terrible splitting tennis shoes. They're rotting to death, and I just can't bring myself to replace them. But they're awful.
That was like the ones I got when I first got here.
I
The
know.
Red Rock, when we first got here, before we changed it over to regular gravel, but the Red Rock stuff,
This
it
looks
ate my
horrible.
shoes so bad. And I was out there every day just trimming trees and stuff like that. I'd come in. Finally, my shoe just gave up. And it like tore in half.
And how long did you have those before we moved here? A
Oh,
long time.
yeah, like 4 years. And they would look like brand new. And
2
then-
days.
Yeah.
2 days here.
Yep. This is not a good place for shoes. Yeah, but one thing I'm learning is you got to buy good shoes and good boots, work boots.
Yeah.
And good work boots to me are not ones you have to sit like for a half hour trying to get the damn things laced up and all that. I need something that's easy, slide on, ready to get out the door
Well,
and
I don't
start.
know. These ones I got last year, they work great.
Hmm.
My toes don't get cold, nothing.
Guys, I tell you, the last couple of days I'm getting out there, I'm going, that's like my toes are cold. But there's also snow on the ground. But yeah, it's miserable. So as Rev and them guys over there in North Carolina, are they getting any snow or
I
just
think
I
storm?
think getting blasted. Yeah.
They had a lot of rain. Mindy and I have some friends that live in North Carolina, and man, they were showing. I mean, it was flooding on their property. They have
Yeah.
they had a lot of rain. I know
Yeah.
that.
They got hit hard.
And that's all the way from Florida all the way up the coast.
Wow.
Because they had a nor'easter come in. Well, they got all the water being fed from down below and all the cold up on top.
Well, Florida's getting blasted too.
I was watching Soda Land, I think it was called. And he was showing how much water was passing through his property. And it's coming from neighbor's property and stuff, but it's got to go somewhere. So it goes right through the middle of his property. He's like, it was like a river. It's like,
Yeah.
wow, you don't see that kind of water here.
Hey,
Except in Eugene. So, are you just going to go with the 2 pigs that you got this year, or are you going to expand, or what are you going to do, John Pearson?
Hey, you know what? The 2 pigs. Actually, it's 1.5 because half of the pig is half of one of the pigs is going to go to my boss over at Builders Electric, and
are you giving? Is he getting the half that has the ball?
Oh my God!
Hey, which pig has the ball, or do I need to know?
I don't think it matters.
I don't know because we couldn't find it. So
it might drop later on.
No, I'm not worried. No, I'm sure it's inside. The last pig I had that only had that I could only find 3 minutes. When I opened the pig up, and processing it, hey, blah, there it was, But I was just wondering, do you know if it was the panda pig or the other pig, or do you know?
Actually, I don't remember. All I know is one of the black pigs.
Growing. You got one with no balls. I got one with half an ear.
we had challenged pigs this year.
We sure did.
Although Belle does look cute.
Yeah, she looks cute. Actually, she has a whole ear. She's hanging down instead of pointing up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's like hangs over. I don't know if she can even hear out of that ear. But yeah.
What pig was it that you had, Rob, that was that had that one ear that got all infected and then it kind of
that was my first feeder. That was Mr. Cow.
Cow? And then all of a sudden it went
Yeah. The pigs, when they fight, if they damage their foe's ear or something, it'll get swollen up like that, and a lot of times just stay that way.
It was ballooned up pretty good for a while.
Yeah, he tasted good though.
So delicious.
He gnawed on that ear.
That's right. But yeah, that kind of worried us at first, and everybody was saying a lot of times that happens a lot. And I think Miss Sparky, has a swollen ear a little bit. No, not Sparky, Zelda. Just having some little spiffs with the other sows. But I guess this happens a lot. So, but I love the ears on an Idaho pasture pig. They're so cute. So, oh shoot, I guess we're getting close to that time. I got to find my little screen here. All righty, guys. Well, it's been an hour, and I want to thank you for sharing your projects and stuff like that. I appreciate it. John, congratulations! You're now in the pig club.
Nice to have a pig, couple of pigs. I can sing to them in the morning.
That's right.
Oh, it's a good feeling to walk out there and see pigs.
It is.
They're so damn cute.
Yeah. They grow
Anyway,
pretty
guys,
fast.
we got to wrap this up. I want to thank
Good night,
everybody for watching.
everyone.
Thanks for watching our show. Please leave comments down below and take the time to like and subscribe to our channel. We appreciate it. And feel free to send us $100 or $200 each.
Oh, God.
Oh gosh. Anyway, guys, have a great evening, and we'll talk to you later. And the staff, stay on there. So here we go. This video is made possible by Ranger Rob Poopy Bags, available in Amazon right now. Thank you very much for watching our video. Please take the time to like, subscribe, and share our videos all over the whole wide world. Thanks.
Monday.